Watch out, it's the warning track.
Welcome back to another episode of The Warning Track. I'm your host, Clayton McMahon. We have a very interesting episode today because I really wish the election stuff hadn't forced Ethan to be able to not be on the show, because him and I actually did a trade yesterday. It's very rare we don't start off the show with the closing carousel, but I think today is quite worth it. So we'll kind of dive into this trade, my thoughts on it. Whenever he's on again, I'm sure he'll give his thoughts on it. And then we'll move into the rest. We have a decent amount of news today, so we'll kind of just get right into it. I think I had mentioned before how I was trying to get rid of Devers, and I have him in 2 of my 3 leagues, and it's been a very, very slow start for him, very frustrating. And so I did. I pawned him off to Ethan. I traded away Rafael Devers. Oh, okay, that doesn't show down here. Let me go to pending moves. So I traded away Rafael Devers and then Victor Vodnik, a closer for the Rockies, for Logan Gilbert. Now, those who watch regularly, if there is anybody, they may be a little confused by that, because I have spoken at length about Logan Gilbert's just, not that he's awful, he's far from awful, but it's just been a very weird last year and a half where he's not going deep into games. It's just not really, I think, what people really think of when they think of Logan Gilbert now, especially after his couple years. I mean, going back to 2020, his 2024 was just insane, quite frankly. Led the league in innings, had a rough record, but that's more just kind of what the Mariners were at the time. Led the league in WHIP, K per 9. Wasn't insane, but it is over 9. I mean, it still gave you 220 strikeouts just off the volume alone. Last year just wasn't going deep in starts. He did also miss a little bit of time. And this year has been not the best start so far. Kind of looking at his numbers, he actually just came off one of his worst starts of the season Monday. Gave up 4 runs against the Braves, including 4 home runs. But yeah, at least these days, if he's given the volume, even if he's not going as deep into starts, this league, it does not have quality starts, so that makes me feel a little better about that. And I expect the strikeout numbers to at least improve somewhat. And I just need pitching, man. Jack Flaherty is not getting it done. The only reason I'm even starting him today is because last night my ratios got annihilated by Sandy Alcantara, DeGrom, and Cade Cavalli. I don't know if we have enough time to talk about Alcantara today, but man, he is just, talk about a promising start and then it's just completely fallen off. But yeah, Flaherty's been awful. Aaron Nola is actually coming off a really good outing on Monday, but for the most part has not been good this year either. I am getting hopefully Snell back in a week or 2, so that'll be nice, but you can just never have too much pitching, especially with all these injuries going on right now. So I feel good about that, and with the way my offense has been, I'm pretty loaded at first base because I traded for Vinny Pasquantino a couple weeks back. Already have Nick Kurtz, so felt pretty good about him getting shipped off, and I think the offense will be fine without him. I do expect Devers. I don't think Devers is just a complete scrub, so I'm sure he will bounce back. But I feel good. And then Vodnik, I mean, he's a closer, and I know people go nuts for closers, so I kind of just threw him in. I'd be shocked if he keeps the job the entire year. I mean, he has not been good. I think he's sitting at like, it's a cool 7.24 ERA. Does have 4 saves. The Rockies have a better record than I think most people were expecting for this time of the year, or this point in the season, but can't say I'm really too concerned, especially when I already have Cade Smith, Riley O'Brien. We're going to get into Tony Santillan. Even Brian King got a save last night. I guess I kind of will transition into it. Like I said, hopefully it probably won't be until next week, but we're going to have Ethan on eventually again and get his thoughts on the trade. But yeah, going into the closing carousel, Emilio Pagan, and I watched the clip of this morning. It looked pretty rough. He technically has not been placed on the IL yet, but he's going to today. He had to leave the game in a cart after suffering a hamstring injury, which if you guys remember, he was dealing with that a couple weeks ago. did not go in the IL for it, but was dealing with it a few weeks ago. And it looked bad. I mean, he was like crying out in pain. Like as soon as he made the pitch, I mean, he started like limping and fell to the ground. It looked rough. So my guess is he'll miss a bit of time, and he's been pretty ineffective this year anyway. 6.43 ERA across 14 innings. At least three blown. Well, yeah, that's March 28th. So yeah, 3 blown saves on the year. 2 of them since April 19th. So yeah, I couldn't believe I looked. Basically, as soon as I woke up this morning, which is like 5 a.m., I'm listening to the CBS Fantasy Podcast, and they're talking about the Pagan injury, and I look, and somehow Santillan was not. Who's interested? Okay, somehow was not picked up yet, and so I scooped him up instantly. I would also say, and he's 15% roster in ESPN, which is a little surprising. As in, I'm surprised it's that high. Let's go to the other league with closers. Somebody in this league speculated on Santillan last week. I mean, people just go absolutely insane for closers in this league, as we've talked about. When was he picked up? Okay, so it was yesterday. Wow. So, pretty good timing there. I meant to look and see what he was owned. Oh, roster percentage is 21%, and then so he obviously should be picked up, and then I don't even think it would be dumb to pick up Graham Ashcraft, who's 13% rostered, is also available in this league or unavailable in this league. Ashcraft's walks kind of scare me. He's definitely walked a lot of batters, but Santillan's also kind of struggled as of late, the last week or so. I would still probably go with Santillan if I had to choose just one of the two. But I think they're both worth rostering. Kind of a weird situation here. Ryan Zefferjan got a save, 4-out save Tuesday against the White Sox. Doesn't really have the best number. Now, he does have a lot of strikeouts. He has 25 strikeouts in 19 and 2/3 innings. They've kind of used him, as you can see here, in like a multi-inning relief role. So, not really sure what to think here. Like I said, I do like the strikeout numbers. I guess the thing that's also interesting is that Kirby Yates was reinstated from the injured list last night. He did not pitch Tuesday. Unfortunately, I've still just not seen any specific numbers about his velocity. Because I think it was like his first appearance, they mentioned his fastball velocity was down. And he didn't have the best numbers during his rehab assignment, but I've just seen no specific numbers on what it's sitting at right now. So it's possible it may be a slow roll with Kirby Yates. I still feel like I want to pick him over Zefferjan. But I think right now, at least for the short term, I mean, if you have a spot, like I said, if you're going to put Pagan in your IL spot, you missed out on Santillan, I don't see why you wouldn't pick up Zefferjan. I may be almost, no, I'd probably still rather Vodnik over Zefferjan. Yeah, that's tough. Maybe take Zefferjan over Vesia. Yeah, he's rostered more. I don't know. It's tough because, I mean, everybody's been talking about Kirby Yates from the beginning of the season, but clearly his recovery has just not went like people were expecting. In a very deep league, I think he's definitely worth a speculative add. But if you force me to pick one of the two, I'd still probably go Kirby Yates long term. Brian King. Brian King got a 2-inning save last night. Gave up one earned run. It was in the 8th, but then finished off the 9th inning. I think we talked about the fall of Aniel De Los Santos after his brief rise. I definitely don't think he's worth rostering anymore. And so I will say, not that I think it's too shocking, but Josh Hader looked really good in his first rehab start. He's still 3-ish weeks away. But obviously once Hader comes back, he's going to take the closer spot. But I do think for at least temporary saves, Brian King's worth a look. Yeah, kind of going into Hader here. I don't remember if I had on my notes. No, I don't. Fired a scoreless inning on Tuesday in AAA. threw 9 of his 16 pitches for strikes and averaged 94 miles per hour on his sinker. So that's encouraging to see. Rico Garcia got the win Tuesday. He finished off the game, so he came in for the final out of the 8th inning, and then the Orioles tacked on a couple runs. It was in a tie game, and then the Royals tacked on a couple runs in the 9th. So I think this basically just confirms that he's going to be the guy until Helsley comes back, which they don't seem to think he'll be out super long. Rico Garcia is putting up great numbers, a .56 ERA. Has only given up 1 run the entire season, 18 strikeouts in 16 innings. So definitely pick him up where you can for temporary. Raisel Iglesias got the save Tuesday. I don't think anybody should be surprised by this, but just in case people were concerned about Robert Garcia holding it, Iglesias came back and looked completely fine. 2 strikeouts, got the win. Still has not given up a run this year, or an earned run this year. Still would hold Garcia. I mentioned that multiple times. I think if nothing else, you're going to get some pretty good, really good ratios out of him. And the way pitchers are dropping like flies these days, that's worth something in my opinion. So hold on to him. And then Andres Munoz, this is really not anything to. I don't think there's any action to take because of this, but man, he took the loss Tuesday. Came in a tie game, gave up a solo shot to Matt Olson. ERA's back up to 6. He's getting strikeouts. He's not even really walking guys. 7 across 15 innings. That's not too notable to me. Man, he just has not been able to settle in. And I just don't know what it could be. I don't think I've heard any notes about like velocity being down or nothing like that. It's just been a slow start for him. So that's pretty much it for the closing carousel, getting in some news and notes, injuries, things like that. Bubba Chandler, this is kind of just a random one. Let's pull up his numbers first. Ethan has him and needs to drop him, which is why I'm bringing it up. He only gave up 2 runs across 5 innings, but had 6 walks. He is now up to 26 walks across 34 innings with a 4.76 ERA and a 1.5 WHIP. He is just doing only 1 win on the season. He is just doing nothing for your team. Absolutely nothing. He only has 1 quality start. Has only pitched into the 6th inning twice. Only finished out once. Yeah, he has just been very disappointing. And I mean, you spent a decent pick. I mean, 14th round's nothing to scoff at. I mean, that's a middle round pick. Yeah, I think he just needs to be gone. Drop him. Carlos Correa, who's been off to a solid start this year. Nothing too crazy. Will apparently, according to MLB.com, miss multiple weeks and possibly months due to a significant left ankle injury. Apparently, it happened while taking batting practice. I haven't heard any specifics on how he injured it, but yeah, it sounds like he'll be gone for a while. Not that he wasn't already starting full-time anyway, but for anybody worried about Isaac Paredes, who has been kind of mediocre anyway, I think he's definitely going to have full playing time even when Jeremy Pena comes back. So that's kind of the fallout there. Sonny Gray is expected to start today against the Tigers. So it seems like he wasn't out too long, thankfully, dealing with a hamstring injury of his own, like Pagan. Funny enough, his last outing came against the Tigers. Now, Sonny Gray has not really been that good this year. 4.3 ERA, 1.3 WHIP, so kind of middling ratios, but the strikeouts are just down significantly. Only 13 strikeouts across 23 innings. So obviously it's always good to have a healthy arm back, but he has not been what you drafted him to be, especially since he was going, like 11th round. I think I took him someplace similar. Ooh, the 8th round. Yeah, that hurts a lot. Anyway, moving on there to another Red Sox. Roman Anthony was diagnosed with a sprained wrist, and it seems like he may avoid the IL. He's been pretty mediocre anyway. Only has 5 RBIs, 1 homer with a .229 batting average. Actually, he's been awful this year. I guess it'll be interesting to see why they are or not. My guess is they'll probably miss another game or 2. And then I guess if it doesn't improve, they can just put him on retroactively to a few days prior. But yeah, so probably without Roman Anthony, who I think was a third-round pick in this league. Yeah, which is just insane. But in most leagues, he was going like fourth or fifth, so not ideal. Garrett Cole sounds like he's going to continue his rehab. Apparently this was a quote from Aaron Boone that said he's, quote, a little ways away still from making a season debut. Did it mention... Okay, yeah, he had a rehab start Tuesday, but this note is not saying how he did. Let's go to Yahoo for that. Garrett Cole. Oh, yeah. And it was not a good one, yeah. Charged with 5 runs over 4 1/3 innings through 69 pitches, which seems kind of encouraging, but maybe they just want him to kind of end on a high note or get a little higher than that. So he's still close, but yeah, won't be getting him quite yet. And then I didn't write this down, but I think Carlos Rodon also made a rehab start. Yeah, went 6 1/3 innings with AAA through 83 pitches, so it seems like this is likely his... I guess even the report here from Aaron Boone told reporters earlier on Tuesday that he will make his next start in the majors if everything checks out fine from a physical standpoint, which would most likely be Sunday against the Brewers. So if you picked him, I'm interested to see where he was going. The 18th round, getting him in mid-May, that's a steal. That's a steal. I mean, Carlos Rodon is coming off, if I remember correctly, a fantastic season last year. He's obviously dealt with injuries a lot in his career, but no. Yeah, I'm looking at 2024. So yeah, no, he was fantastic last year. K numbers were a little down for where we've seen him before, but still, you give me a 3.09 ERA, 18 wins, and 203 strikeouts over a season. I'll take that every day. So, and honestly, I mean, yeah, you take out that first year with the Yankees. I mean, the last 4 years he's been really good. So, and I guess impressive enough, not that it'll happen this year, but 3 of the last 4 seasons prior to 2026, he had made 30 or more starts. So the only one he didn't was the injury-plagued year. So, yeah, he's just a good pitcher. He really is. Like I said, the K numbers aren't quite what we were seeing at the end of his White Sox days, but that'll be a big boost to the lineup. I do not think he went that late in my ESPN league. There's just no way. Yeah, he went the 8th round in that one. So either way, it'll still be a boost. So look forward to getting him back in your lineups. This scares me, even though the news is optimistic. Joe Ryan, apparently the MRI came back negative, which is good. He's slated to throw a bullpen today. Hopefully that bullpen goes well. And he's apparently tentatively scheduled to start a game this weekend in Cleveland, which... I mean, you spent a high draft pick on him, 5th, 6th round. So that's obviously good to hear. I have him in one of my ESPN leagues. I think this one. Not this one. Dang, that isn't Splendid Splinter. Yeah, I can't be losing even more guys. So, I really hope he's fine. I mean, I took him in the 7th round. Okay, so decent. It is interesting to see the difference in ADPs in Yahoo versus ESPN. Most likely just because of how they rank. They rank them on their big board. But anyway, very encouraging news for Joe Ryan. I was definitely expecting a lot worse. So I would definitely still start him. I mean, as long as today's bullpen goes fine and they're like, yeah, he's going to go Saturday and he's good, I would just stick with it. But definitely scary still. Probably the last news. This isn't super relevant, but I think people were at least streaming him and maybe rostering him in deeper leagues. But Steven Matz did go on the IL with elbow inflammation. Yeah, I mean, he's 26% rostered in Yahoo, so that's not nothing. Yeah, it doesn't say how it happened, but it does seem like it came out of nowhere. I'm trying to look. I thought there was a note. Yeah. Rays TV reported that it's not expected to be a long IL stint, which is kind of weird. It seems like so many people are just getting these shoulder inflammations, elbow inflammations, and they end up not being that serious. I don't know. Anytime, obviously, I hear elbow or shoulder with a pitcher, that freaks me out. But I guess it won't be too long. He's put up okay numbers this year. The strikeouts aren't very high, but a 1.1 whip, ERA under 4. These days, you kind of have to take what you can get. So So, yeah, I don't think. Funny enough, in this league in particular, it was very convenient because I could just take Sunday Gray off today, put Steven Matz in there. But, yeah, I think if you've got an IL spot to play with, I wouldn't mind stashing him. So, I think that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, I really wish Ethan was on so we could hear his thoughts on the trade. That'll process later today. And funny enough, I'm actually playing my dad in this league, and I think Gilbert is expected to start Sunday. So, yeah. Yep, Sunday against the White Sox, which in theory should be a good matchup. So we'll see how that goes. Ethan and I actually made a trade last year. Will I be able to pull this up? Yeah, I can. So this is my league from last year. And him and I actually made a trade for Bryce Harper. So, yeah, he gave me Bryce Harper and Caleb Durbin, and I gave him Christian Walker and Tommy Kahnle, who at the time was kind of vying for a closer spot with the Tigers, and then eventually fizzled out for Will Vest and Kyle Finnegan. Now, Harper ended up not really doing much last year. I mean, he was okay. But Christian Walker was terrible. Or at least in the first half of the season, he kind of turned it on in the second half. And then, yeah, as you can see, I'm not even rostering Caleb Durbin. He was not good. I did have Mike Trout last year. Man, I wish he was doing what he was doing this year. Last year, man, that would have been a boost for the squad. This team was just so disappointing. Gunnar Henderson, at least for a first round pick, I did take him in the first round, 3rd overall, was very disappointing. Jarren Duran was extremely disappointing. Took him in the 2nd round. Yeah. And then I took Logan Gilbert and Cole Reagans, who both dealt with injuries and just inefficiency. Logan Webb was good. Whip got high toward the end, but you kind of expect that from him. And I did pick up Geraldo Perdomo, and that ended up being a really, really good move. He was absolutely fantastic last year. Other than that, I actually don't remember having Drake Baldwin. But yeah, Trout was disappointing. I mean, he had at least 26 homers, but other than that, I mean, you can see this team had no power. It did have a good amount of steals. I will say that. I mean, Matt Shaw was bad. Yeah, I took Marcus Semien pretty high. Yep, 5th round. He was awful. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, this league could not have went any worse. I at least got, drafted Duran, and I don't remember taking Duran in the 10th round last year. I didn't realize he was going that high. But yeah, I took Duran and Fairbanks, so at least my closing situation was solid. Like I said, Logan Webb was good. Matthew Boyd was really good last year. I don't remember having Jose Soriano. He was doing what he was doing this year. And then, I picked up Edward Cabrera, who had a fantastic second half last year. So the pitching was okay, but yeah, that offense was just disgusting. Yeah, I forgot I drafted Tanner Scott too, who was terrible. So yeah, that was a very disappointing year. But good thing we were off to a good start this year. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for joining another episode of The Warning Track. As always, until next time, I'm your host, Clayton McMahon. We'll keep you updated on... Actually, hold on. We're not going to leave quite yet because I do want to see one last thing. I have meant to check what Adley Rutschman's doing. Actually, I need to put it back on me because of the owner's name. Maybe this will be a good sign that Logan Gilbert will go nuts and Devers will still be bad. But I still have him. Yeah, so I need him to be okay. Rutschman has not really done a whole lot since I traded him, which was, when was that? The 28th. So yeah, he had a home run the next day. Has done absolutely nothing since then. So, yep, I feel good about that. Anyway, until next time, thank you for watching The Warning Track, and we will see you later.
Watch out, it's The Warning Track.